Welcome back to Bbpn. I'm your host, Cadet Tank, and we have more NATTS entertainment for you. So, this week, Scar does some work, Panda still holds out hope for me, Callisti's on death's door, the Scum prepares for a Hooligan division, and Ace is, well, Ace. So, without wasting any more of your time, let's start off with Scar in the CDT division.
All going according to plan, my king. The ritual is progressing on schedule, and the barrier between our worlds is slowly weakening. Patience, my king. All will be before your time. No, of course. They have no idea. Yet. I must go. There's still much to do. Yet. I love you. Goodbye. What? Oh, hi everyone! I didn't see you there. I am Scar, your resident Dark Knight of the Void, and welcome back to the completely normal CDT. You heard nothing. Now, let's get started with a quick recap of all the completed games so far, before moving on to predicting the remaining matches in this round. And then, we finish it all off with a good look at the leaderboard and where everyone is right now. It should be really interesting, so let's get started. Picking up where 2 kills 1 cop left off, we start with my Vengeful Apothecaries getting a free win against Ogre Rated. It's always disappointing when that happens. Now, for the start of day 4, we have the Rats of Nymph beating Billis Slick's army 1-0. And although there were no deaths this time, it is always funny when a star player gets the MVP. Better luck next time, rats. Next up, we have Wogs Cooking beating Rockers of Legends Past 2-0. I have absolutely nothing else to say about this. Good job, Wogs. Next up, in what was clearly a very frustrating game, we have the Volga Opera beating Ogre Rated 1-0. At least one of the ogres got the MVP this time. And wrapping up this day, we have my Vengeful Apothecaries luck finally turning around and absolutely destroying the NATTS Referees Guild 4-0. I'm so proud of these little idiots that I actually gave them a bath. And at the top of day 5, my Vengeful Apothecaries luck is persisting by beating Rockers of Legends Past 2-1, and even managed to kill one of the dead. You know, if this keeps up, I'm not sure if I'll be able to keep my new title as Hero of Misfortune. Next up, the NATTS Referees Guild finally got a good game and beat Billis Slick's army 3-0, truly proving that refs deserve to be on the pitch too. And the last game to be played so far is Volga Opera managing to beat Wogs Cooking 1-0, but not without losing one of their guys. Not bad, but not terribly surprising either, considering it's a Norse team with 7 armor. And now, for some predictions. In the final game of Day 5, we have the Rats of Nymph versus Ogre Rated, and I'm going to predict the Rats of Nymph are going to win this one. I just kind of think the Rats have the speed that Ogres just can't keep up with. Part of me is hoping I'm wrong, because I love watching Ogre teams. Now for Day 6's predictions. Starting at the top, we have the Vengeful Apothecaries versus the Rats o' Nymph. And no question, the Vengeful Apothecaries are definitely going to walk away with another glorious victory. After that, it's Ogre Rated versus NATTS Referees Guild. Definitely a fight of the underdogs. But I'm going to root for the NATTS Referees Guild. They've proven that they know what they're doing, and they are clearly superior. Please give me more bribes. Next up, it's Rockers of Legends Past versus Volga Opera. And the Rockers have kind of gotten knuckled hard, and they lost an important piece recently. So I'm going to put my money on Volga Opera. And finally, we have Slick's Army versus Wog's Cooking. And although it's a safe pick to go with the Orcs, I'm going to go with my gut and say Slick's Army is going to win this game. Alright, let's take a look at Day 7's predictions. At the top, we have Rockers of Legends Past versus the Rat's Own Nymph. And it seems like a pretty even game, but I'm going to be rooting for Rockers of Legends Past because they need a win here to get to the second round, I believe. Next up, it's Slick's Army versus Ogre Rated. I'm going to have to give this to Slick's Army because they have proven to be a very competent team, and Ogre Rated just hasn't been able to get any traction this season. Next up, it's Wog's Cooking versus Vengeful Apothecaries, and clearly my Apothecaries are going to walk away with another glorious win if they don't get killed. And finally, we have Volga Opera versus the NATTS Referees Guild. And I'm definitely going to go with the Volga Opera because they have block everywhere, and that doesn't go well with goblins. Well, that's all I got for now. There have been quite a lot of back and forth with most of these teams so far, but it all seems to be coming together quite nicely. For me, at least. You know, it seems like the RNG in this game seems a little off recently. It just looks like a lot of coaches are getting knuckled hard way more often recently. And extremely good or bad rolls appear to be more common than normal ones. But what do I know? I'm just a creature beyond your understanding, coaching a team of filthy peasants. Back to you, Cadet.
Nice job, Scar. And by the way, I left something in your inbox. A bill or something. Don't worry, you probably know why. Alright, so let's go over to the Panda in the MCC.
Good afternoon, ghouls and goblins. It's that time of week again, so let's go ahead and take a peek over at what's going on in the MCC. Shan't we? We shan't. Good note, Lighting Goblin, back in action. Thank you, Scar, for not killing this one. Appreciate it. So, let us take a look over at the MCC. It looks like they're on match day 6. See how things are shaping up and who may or may not make it into round 2. So, Superfed is 6-0. He is guaranteed a spot in the next go. Oh, hello, Panda Cat. No, there was the Panda Cat. That side. Laser Dennis with the Presidential Undead is locked in at 4 as well. So, Cadet is, let's not skip down there. Zectorman back to Orc 6, 2-1-2. If he doesn't win the next 2 games, and, you know, this is a very tight midfield. 2-1-2, 2-1-2, 2-1-2. This can go very wrong for any of these people. And Cadet is not technically out because one of these guys can lose 2 games and then it's over. Like, if Cadet can pick up the 2 wins, he can make it. Zector, Werecaster, Hogstitch, and Resin are going to be fighting hard. They need... I mean, 4 is the magic number at this point, so If you can get to 4, great. Otherwise, we're going to miss you. We'll see you next season. So top 6, move on. Vapor Gecko is 1 draw, but he has goblins, so that's understandable. Yeah, it's very tight. I love seeing the tight midfield like this. It definitely makes the last couple games interesting to see who's going to push ahead, who's going to drop off. Unfortunately, Vapor 2, 1, and 4. So he might be able to make it due to some weird tiebreaker if something goes weird in here, but I don't know. It remains to be seen. So let's take a look at our teams and see what's going on. We got Zector Man with the back to Orc 6. Oh, well, he's got a dead player, missed next lineman. Strength 5 Black Orc. He's got his Mighty Blow. He's got his Dodge on a Blitzer. Oh, that's nasty. Blodge on Orc Blitzer. Good stuff. 4 Fan Factor, 3 Rules. So pretty good. I like the way this is going. He's got 110 in the bank, so he can obviously either replace or... I would probably go with the deep bench if I was the Zector Man. Grab some more linos and start fouling your ass off. Yeah, looks good. I like the team. It's developing nicely. Goblins with Vapor Gecko. He only has guard on the troll and dodge on the loony, and then sidestep on these guys. But those are pretty standard. 3 rerolls. He still doesn't have an apothecary, so I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I do know how I feel about that. It's not good, because then you end up with stuff like this AV6 Goblin. He's got more than enough players. He's coming in at 1040. He'll be pulling a ton of inducements. He can get cheap bribes, whatever, but that is what it is. Goblin's a very tough team. They're very fun, but they're very tough to play. What else at 770? We had some... Whew! All right, man. Cadet is not having a real good time. He's got the Apothecary still at 1 reroll. He has a dead Dancer, a dead Catcher, 2 dead Catchers, actually. I believe he started with 3. This is rough. The Thrower's got Pass and Dodge, but he got picked. It's pretty beat up. It's tough. I think you can still pull it off, Cadet, since they're still good out of the box, but yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for you, man, for sure. I wish you the best of luck. Hogstench coming in at 1200 with the Chaos. Mighty Blow Claw on the Beastman. He's got Miss Next. No levels on the Warriors at all, so I think he is underleveled. He has a deep roster, that's good, but he definitely needs to get some serious development in here, which is kind of what round 1 was about, because round 2 is going to be very, very aggressive, and he's going to be coming up against teams with a lot more skills than he has, and I don't think he's developed enough, but you're doing well, Hogs. I know you're a solid coach. Good luck in the future. I definitely try to get them levels on these Warriors, but there's not. They're AG3, right? So you can hand off and score with them if you want, or if you can. I'd at least try to get one of them going. But yeah, overall though, team looks good. 1200 is not a bad place to start, or around 1200 is not a bad place to be. I just wish you had more skills on the players instead of having a deeper bench. But apart from that, it's all good, man. Keep it up. Laser Dennis with the Presidential Undead. We got a Guard Mummy, and we got a Non-Mummy, we got a Mighty Blow White. I think that I wouldn't... Mighty Blow's fine on the White, right? We like them to hit things. I think I would have taken Tackle as the first level. Mighty Blow's great. Tackle gives you utility against almost everybody, though. Mighty Blow's just kind of there, right? It doesn't actually give you an extra dice if you're coming up against a ball carrier with Blodge or something. So, and the Whites are the real workhorses of Undead. apart from the whites, I'd say the most important players are the zombies and their fouls, because we all love fouling zombies. Just kidding. Just kidding. The ghouls need to carry their weight. He's got a Raj ghoul, a Blodge ghoul, so he looks great here. He's got 3 rerolls, so he's pretty set there. No apothecary, because they're all dead. So Merry Christmas. Team looks good, Laser. I hope to see you grab some levels on here. I like the Raj ghoul. I really do. I'd like to see another level on him. Maybe give him tackle or something and make him kind of a ball hawk. But I think you're doing well. The team development looks pretty solid. And, yeah, looks good, man. Keep it up. Warecaster at 1220 with the Nurgle. He's got guard on the Beast. He's got dodge on the Prestigore. He's got jump up on a War. Okay, so this is weird. Jump up as a first skill, right? I don't like it, but I mean, you get more utility from block, right? Or even claw if you're planning on coming against some bashy teams. Or yeah, I mean, he does have 3 rerolls. Jump up's not a wrong skill to have on a killer player, so maybe he just didn't want to pass up the jump up roll. I don't know. So apart from that, not too many levels. He's missing a Rodder. That's to be expected. Rodders die. That's what Rodders do. Team's getting up there. I'd like to see some more. Like I said, it's been a common theme, right? We're coming to the end of round 1. We want to see some levels on some players. We need to get players up there. We need to get skills going, because round 2 is going to be very aggressive. It's going to be very competitive, and there's a good chance you don't make it to the playoffs. But team looks good, Warecaster. We got Resin with the Dwarfs. Both Troll Slayers. He's got a guard, AG1. Doesn't matter. That's probably the best kind of injury to have on a Dwarf. Guard Ball is starting to form with 2. He's got block on his ball carrier, and that's about it. So, yeah, again, we come back to it. Skills, right? Dwarfs have tons of skills out of the box, but they need that guard ball going forward. And I think after 8, once we hit the end of the season, we should see, or the end of round 1, I'm sorry, we should see at least 1 or 2 more of these guys with guard, if at all possible. Oh well, ladies and gents. That brings us to our division leader with Superfed TV. Superfed with the ladies. This is disappointing. I don't care who you are. I'm sorry. Enter the team motto. Superfed. Dude. Fix this. Come on. I know. It's not right. Don't do this. Theme teams are the best. You gotta have a motto too. You named it. You did the wonderful theme, and then you just botched it on the motto, man. You gotta take care of that, okay? All right, perfect. I'm glad we got that sorted out. Now, this team is looking great. Look at that. Look at all them skills. He even got the double guard blitzers, double mighty blow. He's got 1 with tackle. He's got an MA up catcher with Blodge, another Blodge catcher, dirty player linewoman. He's also got 150 in the bank. He has everything he needs going into round 2 already. So basically, he just needs to protect these 2 pieces for the last couple match days. These few pieces for the last couple match days. He's doing all right. So his record certainly is great. He's undefeated. The team is very strong. And he certainly took up the mantle when he was challenged to play them. So, good job, Superfed. Team looks good. I look forward to seeing what you're going to do in round 2, since you got it all locked up. So, with that, let's take a look over at the schedule and see what's happening. So, Superfed's already played Cadet. Fist pumping versus the cut purses. Well, Annihilators. I'm going to tell you, it's really hard for me to pick Goblins. He is missing a lot of skills, so if the Goblins do pull off a win, it'll probably be this one, but I think Chaos is just going to come out on top unless Goblins can get lucky with some injuries. Orcs versus Undead. I hate this matchup. Not the coaches, just the matchup, because I like to play Undead, and my number 1 Bane is Orcs. courtesy of Hogstench. Thank you. Ugh, elf, orc, bad man. I'm going to give the advantage to the orcs just because it's my kryptonite when I play undead. Orcs will run amok with anything I try to do. Mercus Maniacs versus the ugly side of Disney. I'm going to go with Nurgle here. I think Weirdcaster has the tools he needs to actually pull this off. Let's go ahead and jump to match day 7. This is not going to go well immediately. I'm going to take the Amazons over the Goblins. I haven't known Superfed to pull punches, and with the skills he has on here, the skills he'll probably be developing, and just his general playstyle is going to make this a really bad time for the Goblins. I'm going to give the pick to the Amazons. Alright, Wood Elves versus Orcs. Even with the injuries, I like the Wood Elves here. I play Wood Elves. I like the Wood Elves. I think Orcs is a little bit of a tougher matchup for them, especially a couple games in, because obviously they can pull the skills, and they're underdeveloped due to the deaths. But they're still Elves. So I'm going to take Cadet just because I want the Wood Elves to succeed, and I really want him to win this game. Okay? Okay. Fist Pumping versus Americas. I'm going to go ahead and take the Fist Pumping Annihilators. I think they're going to edge out the matchup. It's going to be close either way, but I think Fist Pumping is going to come out on top. And then Undead versus Nurgle. So this is one I want to really see what's going to happen. Nurgle is still lacking skills, depending on what they can get on the previous match day. The Undead are looking alright with the Blitzers, so if they can remove the Rotters and the Prestigors, they'll come out. But the Mummies are going to be more than enough to tie up the Beast if he can separate it. So I really think the Undead's going to come out on top on the Nurgle, unless the rolls go terribly swingy. So I'm going to give it to the Presidential Dead. And that really kind of wraps that up. Minor correction. There is only 7 games to be played in round 1 and not 8. So, looking at this, like we said earlier, the magic number was 4. Any of these guys are still in it. Unfortunately, I don't think the Vapor is going to make it with the Goblins. He needs 2 wins, and the last 2 games are going to be pretty tough. He might be able to get 1, but I really don't think he's going to come out on top on Superfed. And Cadet is fighting for his life here. He's only got 1 game left to play. So, really, even if he comes out at 2-0-5, like, it's gonna be tough for him to actually make the cutoff, especially with the team value as low as it is. Even if he can tie break somebody, it's gonna be tough. So it is what it is. Good luck to all you coaches, and I look forward to seeing you all in round 2. Remember, pandas never lose. We only win less.
Another great coverage by the Panda, and on a side note, I would not put any money on the Wood Elves. I want to hope as much as you do that they win. I would not do it. Okay, so let's go over to Ace in the Cord Division.
How's it going, everyone? Bbpn with Ace here, and we are back with the Cord Division Day 6. Probably final broadcast before we go to round 2. Let's go ahead and look at our leaderboards, see who's where, our schedule of 5-6 or 4-5, and see how the teams are coming along. So we have, as I predicted, Quarters. He does take a loss though, but he's still number 1 at 4-0-1. The Lizard's coming in at 2 at 3-2. Dwarf's coming in at 3, tied at 3-2. Wood Elves coming in at 3-0-2. Panda finally finding that handbook. Orcs at 1-1-3, and Ogres at 1-1-3, bringing up 5-6 with Skaven. Dark Elf at 1-1 at 1-0-4. So they're not out of it, but They're getting close. So we'll go ahead and look at day 4. Wizards beat the Orcs 2-1. Woodies beat the Ogres 2-0. The Skavens beat the Dark Elves 2-1. And the Dwarves beat the Bretonnians 2-1. We have a 0-0 all draw of the Orcs and the Dwarves. The Bretonnians beat the Skaven 2-1. Surprisingly, the Dark Elves figure out how to hit and win 2-1 over the Woodies. And a 1-1 draw all of the Ogres versus the Lizards. And that brings us to day 6. We'll show you predictions at the very end. So we have Quarterus, Pegasus Knights, Bretonnians, sitting at 1350 team value. Well, I'm guessing he just leveled up that one level, so 1350 now. 3 rerolls, 1 apothecary, 3 fanfactor, 1 cheerleader, 1 coach assistant. AG4 Blodge Blitzer. 2 more Blodge Blitzers to bring it up. A guard blocker, and a kick lineman, a nickel lineman, but he's just there to be punched anyway. His main players are getting levels, that's the big thing, except these blockers, they probably need a few more. But with all his blitzers in Blodge, that's already a great start as they carry this team on their back. And he should be going pretty into round 2. Then we have the Dwarves from Placebo. So he is missing a Troll Slayer next game. Is it anything serious? Nah, just missed next game. So missing a Troll Slayer next game, so he is down to no Troll Slayers for the next game. He does have both his Blitzers, no levels yet on those. 2 guards and 2 Mighty Blow. Runner with Block and a runner with Wrestle, so he's probably going to get Ball Hawk and his main ball carrier. The 2 Mighty Blows for clearing, the 2 guard, but he needs a little bit more guard, and then this team is going to be redonkulous. Glissimea, Skaven, and Ratman himself. So Lyman with an AG down is to level up. I don't know if he'll keep him. If he does, though, but it's just a lineman, so he'll probably be up on the front lines. Gutter Runner with AV6, but Blodge. Oh boy, that is a risk to keep. That is a massive target. Everyone, kill it. Because it's Gunner Runner. He deserves to die. The other one has Blodge. The other one has Raj as like a Ball Hawk. Storm Vermin getting that claw, so that's probably going to be a claw Mighty Blow pile-on piece later on down the road if you can. No Storm Vermin and no level on the thrower. I would say he's in a pickle, but even though he has 1 loner that he's going to be doing, he still does have his 4 Gunner Runners, even if 1 is 6. 86, 3 rerolls, 1 apothecary. I mean, it's even. They can do it with just the 4 Gunner Runners alone. Panda with the Wood Elves, finally figuring out what to do with them. He does have a War Dancer with Tackle and Strip Ball, and the other one with Tackle. Nats, you're doing a poor job. These needs to die. Someone kill these. Like, now. You're doing a very, very poor job. Tasserin with his catcher, coming with Guard. I like the idea of a strength 2-piece with Guard. I mean, anywhere you stick them, it's just pretty much going to be a free hit, so I'm not 100% on that choice. But it does help when you're cage breaking with the War Dancers. Lineman with Dodge, he does have a Niggle and a Movement Bust. So the green, you're probably gone. Yark, another lineman, he has Guard and a Kick Lineman. He's doing all right. I would have probably took Blodge on the capture just to make it harder to hit him down. But that's just me. But these War Dancers are coming along. They need to be killed, but if they don't get killed or hurt very badly, I mean, these are just becoming extremely good pieces, and he is getting the skills to kind of support them. And the surprising part is he does still have 11 players, technically. So we'll see how he does in round 2. The Lizards. He still has all 4 skinks. He does have 1 with catch, 2 with sidestep, and 1 with AG up, with 2 away from a level. I don't know about this whole sidestep. It's nice, but without block, I mean, they can still get hit with anyone with block, so I mean, Blodge is so helpful in stunty teams. But the survive and they become blocks, those are going to be excellent shadow pieces. One source with block, and everyone a cast away, and everyone a touchdown away. But here is an issue that he's coming up to. I'm checking this one died with the name here, so 0 SSP, but I mean 3 with 0 SSP. If you can't get these guys to level, it's going to be a very, very tough time. But the Crocs does have guard and mighty and stand firm, so good luck moving him. And he's going to be helping any source punch that front line. Ogres, Storm, Bronze Pawns. He is missing an Ogre with a movement decrease. That is his second movement decrease. That's ouch. Only one with Break Tackle and only 3 Noblars leveled up with Diving Tackle on 2 and Catch on 1. I still am trying to figure out why he takes Catch on a Noblar. But yeah, I don't. His Ogres seem to be getting hurt more than his Noblars, and that's just crazy. But I mean, he's still in the running to get to round 2. So I mean, if he can just win 1 game or 2 more games, he's in. I would like to see a Blodge Noblar in here, probably maybe. But yeah, you got to get these Ogres leveled up. That's just he's gonna have a hard time until those level. Tassie, the Witch Elves. So he has Nickel Lineman, which I'm surprised he hasn't got rid of, but it is 88, so he's probably there just to fill the gap. Movement down, Blitzer hurts, but movement 6 isn't the end of the world. Guard on 1, the Witch Elf does finally get Blodge. He does have a lineman with AG up, one with guard and one with kick, so a support and another support with 4 hitters really. His main ball carrier and controlling where that ball goes at the start, but still only 2 rerolls. So we'll see if he can still make it to round 2 with those. And then Helix, the greenbacks. So the thrower does get AG up, so he can throw, he can pick up the ball. Basically, this guy is the Peyton Manning of this team. He is probably going to be carrying this team on his back until these blitzers really level up, and these Black Orcs also get some levels. Because, man, this is hard to see. I mean, he only has three level players, 1 with tackle to get those dodgy players, wrestle to maybe get the ball down, like a guaranteed ball down on both down, and this guy to throw the ball, but he needs like block guard on the Black Orcs, blitzers with a few more skills, but he's shown he's been doing all right so far. But if he starts getting into more skilled teams with this little amount of skills, it could end pretty badly. So there's the team. Let's go and do our predictions. So we got Pegasus Knights versus the Greenbacks. Cord is showing how to play Brett's 101, even with just 3 blitzers. He has 3 Blodge. Not really a mighty blow or move with near to the Orcs. But I'm going to give it to Cord because he has shown how to do this extremely well. And I see him beating with the little amount of skills the Orcs have. Dwarves versus Dark Elves. I'm going to take the Dwarves on this, especially with those 2 mighty blow they have. I see them maybe getting a few KOs, a few early casts, maybe even hit that Witch Elf, and they're probably just going to get the number advantage and then just swarm and surround the Dark Elves. Skaven versus Ogres. I'm taking the Skaven, especially with the Ogres missing one. Yeah, the Ogres can probably do some damage to those Line Rats, but those Gutter Runners are just going to run circles around the Ogres, and surprisingly enough, if you think about it, he's getting 2 die block hits on every Snotling with Gutter Runners. So I'm giving it to the Gutters. And Woodies versus the Lizards. As much as I would like to see the Lizards win it, I'm probably going to give Panda this one because he does have block on some, he does have dodge. And the Lizards really don't have any skills, no block outside of 1 Saurus, so I don't see them getting a lot of really good hits in, which in turn is going to make it harder for him to control the Wood Elves, and they're just going to run rampant. Day 7, we have the Orcs versus the Skaven. I'm going to go with Helix's Orcs on this one. He knows how to play Skaven, or play against them. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of skills, but if easily contain the line rats and make it hard for those gutter runners to move around. He can easily contain the Skaven team and hopefully get some cast out of it and maybe win 1-0, if not even just draw. Dwarfs versus Woodies. Panda has shown that he found a manual on how to play Wood Elves, but Placebo's no fool either, and I can see his dwarves, especially Two Mighty Blow, just starting to clear out some Wood Elves early and get a number advantage, and once again, just like the Dark Elves, kind of force and control where the Wood Elves are able to go. So I'm going to give it to the Dwarves. Reds versus Lizards. I want to give it to the Bretts because, again, the Lizards don't have a lot of skills, and Cord does have a lot to deal with those skinks. He has the block, especially 3 Dauntless players with block, which could base up 3 sources and get hits. And the Lizards have really nothing to do against all that barrage, so I'm going to give it to the Bretts. And then Ogres versus Dark Elves. I'm going to give it to the Dark Elves. They're just going to dodge away, make the Ogres chase them, and get in there, smack the Noblars around, get the ball, score a bunch of times, and win it. So I'm giving it to the Dark Elves. And I'm pretty much seeing I'm going to say the Dark Elves are going to take the Ogre spot at number 6, and it's going to be Clissy and Storm missing out, sadly, I'm sorry to say. And I think it's pretty much going to stay the same with the way you see the leaderboard here. But that is the core division for this round. I'll see you guys next time. Remember to spill blood for the Blood God and get skulls for the Skull Throne. This has been Ace, the helpful place.
Ace, the helpful place.
Nice job, Ace. It would not be the core division without you. By the way, I sent something to somebody's inbox that might help cover for your new mic. Okay, anyway, let's go to our last but not least, Callisti in the VGP.
Hello and welcome to what promises to be yet another thrilling installment of action from week 3, match days 4 and 5 of season 11 NATTS League VGP division. I'm your host, Callisti Mayer, the Golden Apple of Discord. So from that intro, you might have gathered that I'm a little bit hoarse today and not particularly with it. Like, I just struggled through remembering what day and match day it was, and what week it was, and even what division and who I was. That's because I'm actually feeling pretty sick this week. I was planning to record this video on Saturday, and my wife went away for the weekend, so I'm like thinking in my head, wow, I get to have like a bachelor weekend where I get to play lots of games and chill and record videos and just do all of that nerdy stuff that I can just sort of do in snippets usually on the weekends and during the week. And then Saturday came and I was feeling like crap. But I also had to look after the kids, so I was feeling like crap, but also running around the house watching my kids as they try to take advantage of my sickness and destroy my shit. But there you go. That's my weekend. So I'm going to be giving you your recap for match days 4 and 5. Gonna try and make sure it's the best show ever, but if I'm a little bit hoarse, there's coughing fits, or I'm just clueless, I'm not really with it, then my apologies, but that's just how it is, because I'm not feeling so great. Okay, so moving right into it, because we've got a little bit to cover. So we're looking at match days 4 and 5, so let's go to the schedule. And we started off with Vipers Hydro Monsters in a 1-1 draw with the Dogzards. The Vipers Hydro Monsters are a Dark Elf team, I believe. The Dogzards are Lizardman team, coached by Big Grin. And I'm wanting to say the Vipers Hydro Monsters were Luke. Yeah, okay, there is Luke. So that was a 1-1 draw. Let's take a quick look at the game stats. And the Vipers Hydro Monsters had that an overwhelming ball possession. They really sort of I'm not sure whether it was because they just had this really long brutal drive to score, and the Dogzards just, when it was their possession, they just literally two-turned it and got that 18%, and then after that they gave the possession back to the Vipers Hydro Monsters. That's what it looks like to me. It was 1-1 draw. The Viper, looks like the ball was in Vipers court, but they couldn't convert that to a win. Huge number of passes, seven passes, 7 successful catches. That's pretty high, really high actually for a game. I don't think anyone's mentioned to Luke that whilst they're elves, Dark Elves aren't the most passy of passing teams, and passing is throwing a pass is a proposition of an action that has more chance of a failure than just trying to do a running drive. So Luke's got balls, whether he knows it or not. He's got balls because did 7 passes and 7 successful catches. For the Dogzards, Lizardman team that really doesn't have any kind of passing game, there was 1 pass and 1 successful catch, so that's pretty insane. 41 blocks to 30. The Lizards got the better end of the injuries game, although there was 1 kill. The Dark Elf team did inflict all 1 kill. So anyway, ended up in a stalemate. I'm sure that's a result that both coaches can be pretty happy with. She's Just My Step Doctor versus the Ankle Slashers. That was a 1-1 draw. Necro versus Rats, Finn's Rats, and that was a 1-1 draw. Let's take a quick look at the stats. Come on, there we go. And another one where it was 68-18. So looks like pretty much exactly the same kind of scenario as the last game. Long bad drive to score, quick score in return, and then another long drive but failure to convert to win the game. Definitely the Necro team got the better end of the bashing and injuries game, with 2 injuries were inflicted, 3 KOs, just 3 KOs and 1 injury inflicted for the Rats. Moving on. Grape Flavor versus Dances with Ulfs. And that was a 2-0 win for Dances with Ulfs. So that's a good result for the Necro Norse team. And let's take a look at the stats. Now this is a good case where they got the ball, the Norse team, they scored. Grape Flavor took 3 turns to score in return, and then Dances with the Wolves was able to convert that second attempt to score. Actually, no, this was a 2-0 result, so they didn't even score. Grape Flavor didn't even score. So it looks like they got the ball after the Ulfs scored, and then the North team scored, and then didn't fail to get the score in return, and then the next half, the Ulfs the North team did manage to score, but they took their sweet time doing it. They got the 2-0 win. Great result for them. Isengard Rockets versus the Gremlin Wannabes. So this is a fun one. This is Goblins versus Orcs. So greenskins all around. The there were deaths on either side. The goblins walked away the winners. So this is Splinter. Am I right in thinking that? I'll check who the coach for the Gremlin Wannabes is, but I've got a strong feeling that's Splinter. So we had 37 ball possession apiece. We had one pass, one successful catch for the goblins. The orcs, being orcs, did outweigh the goblins in the blocking game and in the injury game, but they were level pegging for the kills. As I said, the goblins got a win. That's great. Every time the goblin teams or these stunty teams win a game, it's because everything clicked for them. Everything went right, and they had a good game. The flip side to that is, though, that if you're a stunty team and one thing goes wrong, it usually leads to catastrophe. I also think that I want to say Splinter's the coach for the. Yes, it is. Yeah, the Gremlin Wannabes, coached by Splinter. He's having an amazing season. I seem to remember him winning last week's report. So we're going to be looking at the leaderboard in just a second. But let's move on to match day 5. Grape Flavor versus the Dogzards. We had a classic matchup. High Elves versus the Lizardmen. Lizardmen walked away with the win. Fairly even ball possession. The Lizardmen team walked away with winning the blocking game and the injury game. But it was still pulled to a... Oh no, the Dogzards won. So the Dogzards got the better of the game, better in the end of the game. They got the result. They got the bash advantage. So yeah, they did well. Isengard Rockets versus She's Just My Stepdoctor was a 2-1 win for the Orcs. And again, another case of this Orc team just knowing what orcs are about and monopolizing that possession and grinding the win, and yeah, it was a classic orc win for them. And now we move on to the Gremlin Wannabes versus the Vipers Hydro Monsters, and again, Splinter with his Goblin team gets the win again. This guy is on fire with these goblins. So we have a 1-0 win. And we take a quick look at the stats. I'm just surprised and happy that this Goblin team is doing so well. So the Goblins did have a death. They did have the Dark Elf team was able to inflict a kill. They were also able to inflict 3 other injuries. They won the blocking game. Not a huge surprise. What is a big surprise is that 62% versus 6% ball possession. The Goblins completely dominated this team. I don't know what they have going on. I don't know what they ate for breakfast, but this team is on fire. Okay. Moving on to the to the last game of week 3, match day 5. The Angle Slashers finally got some redemption. They were able to beat the Norse team, which is a really tough matchup for Skaven. They were able to beat them 4-0. So yeah, a drubbing for the Norse team there. They only had 50% ball possession, but what they did with it for half that game when they had the ball was phenomenal. 4-0 win. Finn showing that he may have started the season slow, but he's not to be discounted. 3 passes, 3 catches, 4 KOs. The other team, the Norse team, they got 37% ball possession. They had to have 1 pass and 1 catch. They had to have 1 KO, 1 injury inflicted. But yeah, the Norse team is doing well generally, but they were dominated by the Skaven team this game. Wouldn't be surprised if there was a bit of a dicing going on there. Okay, so looking at the leaderboard, let's just see if we have any games played for match day 6. No, we don't. So this is where we're at, is what I've covered. And look at that. Top of the table, a Goblin team. Splinter, you're proving that you are the surprise. Maybe not so much of a surprise. You've always been a solid coach, but you're definitely turning heads with this Goblin run. 4 wins, 1 loss. That's insane. I'm so surprised and actually quite happy to see that. Really good job. I just said that the ankle slashers hadn't had the greatest start to the season, but they're getting the wins. I'm not quite sure why I thought they weren't having such a great season then. Yep, they got they're at 3-1-1, followed by the North team, coached by Minimo1, at 3-0-2. Then we have Pumpkin Escobar's Orc team, the Isengard Rockets, at 2-1-2. That's a score or record they're sharing with Big Grin's Lizardman team, the Dogzards. Then we have, towards the bottom of the table, we have the Vipers Hydro Monsters, coached, Dark Elf team coached by Luke, all the 4s, at 1-3-1. She's Just My Stepdoctor, the Necro team, coached by I Am Sancho, at 1-1-3. And then rounding out the bottom of the div is Grape Flavor, the High Elf team, coached by Gregory Hart, at 0-1-4. As we look ahead to round 2, I'm not sure Grape Flavor is going to make the cut. Although She's Just My Stepdoctor could make the cut, more unlikely. And obviously this Goblin team from out of nowhere is going to be, well, I wouldn't say that they are definitely going to win the division, but with the roll he's on and the hot dice that he's rolling, I think that I'd be surprised. I'm surprised that I'll be surprised if Splinter doesn't finish in first place in this div for round 1. So that covers it for this week. I hope to be a little better, a little less creaky and hoarse voiced, probably a little bit more fun to listen to and watch. But have a great week, guys. Have great games, do amazing things, and remember, there's scoring and then there's Callisti scoring.
Good coverage, Callisti. I would not go to the apothecary to get help because you're probably just going to die. Let's be realistic. Apothecaries are terrible. Anyway, that's it for Bbpn this week. Stay tuned for next week where we see who made the cut and who's going to be in the hooligan division. It's going to be great. Can't wait to see it. Alright, this is Cadet saying, sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but never bet against me. Unless they're slightly taller halflings, then definitely bet against them. All your money. Guarantee it.